It's Song Talk Radio with Michael, Neil, Phil, and the gang.
Welcome to Song Talk Radio. This is the show with songwriters talking to other songwriters about the craft of songwriting. We share tips, tools, and techniques, and together we all become better at writing songs. I'm your host, Neil Modi, and with me tonight are the Song Talk Radio hosts from a galaxy far, far away. We have Force Be With You, Phil.
I can feel the force strong with this one.
It is very strong with this one.
With one of them. One of us is strong. The other one, yeah, but the one is really got the force thing happening.
Well, the other one's a Wookiee, so it doesn't count. And we have Millennium Falcon Mike.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't it?
Really, I don't remember how many parsecs this thing goes. But
Mike, you got to turn your thing up.
Mike,
I got to turn the thing up?
Yeah, your mic is too low.
Well, I just had it up high. What the hell's going on here?
I don't know.
How about now?
That's better.
How about now? Okay.
Oh,
No?
that's better, I think.
Okay.
All right. And please send your comments and questions to at Song Talk Radio on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Feedback at songtalk.ca for the email, and we'll share your thoughts and feelings on the show. Please visit us at songtalk.ca and find out how you can be a guest. Tonight, our guests are, in fact, from very far, far away. Song Talk Radio podcast listeners the world over occasionally sent us in their songs, and tonight we're showcasing some of them and offering our feedback.
Yay! It's going to be great.
Feedback and comments, not, yeah.
Yeah. So we love getting messages from our listeners, and we especially like it when they share their songs and their songwriting process to a limited extent with us from wherever.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we have a bunch of people to talk about. Actually, we have more people than we have time, so we'll just talk about three.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to do this again.
Exactly. Yeah, so if so out there, if you do happen to have a song that you want to share, just send it to feedback at songtalk.ca, and we'll put you into the next listener song show.
Yeah. And for the most part, tonight's show is going to be more similar than our other podcasts, similar to our meetup group, where the participants of the meetup share a song, and then the group gives them constructive feedback on it. So typically, our guests are in the studio, so we can ask them more about their particular process and what they went through. Tonight, we don't have the guests or the songwriters on the show with us, so it's more like more similar to the meetup. And the thing we always say at the meetup, of course, is constructive feedback, meaning if you're going to poo-poo the song, then you've got to back it up with a suggestion about how to make it better, i.e. if I was to collaborate with you on this song, then I would bring this to the table and move forward from there. Because, the nature of feedback is that, the nature of songwriting and feedback is that if you get feedback on your song, you can always go back home, try it out, and if you don't like it, you can always revert back. You don't have to open a new file or get a new piece of marble to sculpt your thing out of, or buy some more paint. You just change the song.
Yeah. Well, and we've actually been doing the meetup online.
Yes.
Via Zoom. Mm-hmm. And that's been going quite well, actually. And got some great responses and people, some people get a song live. Some people can play it over the computer, which is a little bit more tricky on Zoom, but not too horrible. I use a program here on the Mac called Loopback by Rogobiba, and a program called Faro, I think. Fargo or something, right. And that makes it a bit easier to play this various sounds and stuff. We don't have many sound effects. We should probably add some sound effects to the to our show.
And of course, the other thing about the virtual meetups is that there's a chat box built into the meetup, so people can write their comments in there. And more to the point, they can even post links to their songs to SoundCloud or to YouTube or to a Google Doc or a MP3 in Dropbox or whatever. And share their song that way. That's the way I've been doing it on the virtual meetups. Is everyone pastes their song, everyone go away, listen, come back, and then
that's a nice idea.
Talk about it.
That's a nice idea.
Works out well. And when, say, would the next meetup be? It would be this coming Monday, wouldn't it?
Is it really?
I think it is.
Who's hosting it?
Oh, hang on. No, it's the following Monday. My mistake. I'm hosting it. So I
we
don't know when it is. Hang on. I'm losing track of the days. Oh, no, it's not for a little while. Let me see. 13th. The 26th? Does that sound right?
2 weeks from now.
Yeah, that sounds right. We'll
We're
have
listening
to
on a
confirm.
podcast maybe a week from now.
We'll remind everyone again.
And that's 7
Good thing we're all
p.m.
organized.
That's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Toronto time. But no matter where you are in the world, you can call in. We had someone from Australia, actually, which was really cool. She actually came out to our meetup in person a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
And we had sort of chatted a bit. And she was on the meetup. It was really cool.
Yeah,
She started doing a meetup actually kind of like ours in Australia. And so, which I thought was pretty good. She was very inspired. And
That's cool. We'll have to file a lawsuit.
Yeah,
The first virtual meetup I had that I hosted, there was a songwriter from Turkey. From Istanbul,
cool.
I remember that.
which was really cool.
Yeah.
She's Canadian. She just happened to be living in Istanbul when COVID hit, I guess.
yeah.
So let's start with Stuart Cook. Stuart Cook is a songwriter from Manchester, England.
Is that
And most of the time he's been messaging us. He's concerned mostly with home recording, it seems, when he messages us. But he wrote this great song called Earthbound. And he said about Earthbound that Earthbound resulted from walking on a hillside by his home with a 40-mile view over the city of Manchester. So interesting how you just take a thing so simple like that he probably sees that every day, right? And you can still manage to pull a song out of it. It's nothing for him. It may be nothing special, but you still pull something special out of it, right?
Yeah, it's got a nice sort of almost like a traditional ballad feel to it. And I thought, it's kind of sad. I really liked it. It's got a very, I think the lyrics are kind of straightforward, but I think they sort of resonate with me in some ways. So sometimes trying to be too poetic, I think, can get in your own way. I know it certainly does with me.
Possible.
Okay,
so why don't we take a listen?
I like the melody. Let's take a listen. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
High above this hillside, the air is clear and bright. The buzzard seeks the rising air, then spirals in his flight. Whilst I'm just standing by, I'm earthbound. Well, I know that I will never fly. I'm earthbound. No soaring climb for me, no endless vistas will I see. I'm earthbound. I'm earthbound. And high above this hillside, skylark notes her song. An endless tumbling rising tune, she'll sing the summer long. Whilst on my path I stumble by, I'm earthbound. I'm never meant to sing or fly. I'm earthbound. Above the town where from I fled, the skylark soars above my head. I'm earthbound. Oh, I'm earthbound. Earthbound dreams, flightless schemes, songs that get me nowhere, tunes that never take the air, they just scrape along the ground. so fast. In diamond bright and honeyed air, my heart beats hard and fast. I know I'll never sing or fly, I'm earthbound, but I hope that I never cease to try, I'm earthbound. Across these northern hills I roam, with weary footsteps back to home. I'm earthbound, I'm earthbound, well, I'm earthbound.
Lovely little song, Earthbound by Stuart Cook.
Yeah.
Manchester, England.
It is great. It's, I think we mentioned, Phil, you mentioned before we got into this, it's got a very nice feel to it. Like, it does feel traditional, and it feels very much like wandering around on the hills overlooking a northern English town. It has that great sense to it, and the melody's very nice. Mm-hmm. I would, as a criticism or suggestion, it does feel a bit earthbound in that it never takes off. The lyrics don't progress, and the music could use maybe more dynamics, or like the narrator is in the same place at the beginning as he is at the end. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if there was something, a story to be told, or a lesson to be learned, or some sense that something had happened on his day, or that just musically it would play dynamically. I would offer that as perhaps a suggestion to make it more listenable, or not more listenable, but to make it more to make more of the song, which is very listenable already.
It's interesting. Well, I like the way he starts off. Blair Packham, who's been on our show many times, and if you haven't heard any of our shows with Blair Packham, definitely look them up on the website. He is definitely, he teaches songwriting, and he always talks about specificity. Yes. Anyways, being very particular about your location. And it starts off with high above this hillside. The air is clear, so bright, like you really know exactly where the person is, which I thought was really good. And I liked the just the overall feel of it, and like the I'm Earthbound, the way it kind of runs. It is a very traditional kind of song. It's an interesting point about how. I guess I get a lot from the song from a maybe subconscious, because it is, and that's why it's a bit sad, because the person is earthbound. He sees all these people that soar and all these things that soar, and he can't, that he's earthbound, and that's kind of sad. So it doesn't quite, the fact that it doesn't actually move in terms of progression of story doesn't hit me as much, but that is a way of making it kind of give it a journey of, maybe someday I can fly or something. I don't know, but
because structurally it's really good, and when the bridge comes, it feels nice and it feels right, and the chorus is hooky. I mean, it's all very good. Mm-hmm. So just wondered if
I had that same feeling that I really enjoy it is kind of a traditional structure in terms of verse refrain. Like there's no defined chorus. There's just the word earthbound, which he places quite a lot. Like he keeps coming back to earthbound, 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 but it never seems like it's too much. Like it's always the end of it's kind of the refrain to every verse. And then the verses seem like they're different lengths. Like the first one's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines long. I'm earthbound. All I want to do is fly. I'm earthbound. And then the section after that, no soaring climb for me, no endless vistas I will see. I'm earthbound. So he quickly comes back to earthbound and then goes back to the other structure. So it's actually has a bit of variety in how often he comes back to that central idea. Earthbound. I do agree with you, Mike, that I think the bridge maybe was an opportunity for him to explore this idea from a different angle. Maybe from, pretending he is soaring now, and what does that look like? Something like that, because the music does shift there.
Bridges are often a chance to offer a different perspective, whereas here it's the same point of view as the rest of the song.
Yeah,
it might be a missed opportunity.
It's something we talk about on the show frequently called prosody, right? That if you're going to change the music, then it follows that your lyrical perspective maybe could follow that and change as well. So that's the only opportunity. But at the same time, I get the same sense for Phil. It didn't bother me that much. It's a pretty short song. And a very simple song. So I think, if there was a more of a contour to the narrative, then it might become something else that it maybe doesn't want to be.
That's true. One thing I wanted to mention was that I really like the playing. He had some nice sort of guitar tags, some, sort of variations in the guitar playing. It wasn't just, finger picking. And I was always a huge Jim Croce fan, and he had another guitarist he worked with, I think exclusively, and they just worked so well. Which of course I didn't know when I was young, because I was trying to play Jim Croce songs by myself and finding it really tough, not realizing it was because there was two guitarists.
Oh, okay.
I just realized that now. I never knew that.
Like there was a rhythm and a lead kind of thing, or
no? They both finger picked.
Okay.
And one would do a counter melody or little fills or drills, and which is something when you are recording is to keep in mind. Like if you listen to like a really produced song, sometimes you don't really pay attention. It just sounds, it sounds cool. But if you really listen to the song, there's very often little bits of stuff all the way through, which keeps the song interesting, which makes the song move from location to location. So.
And just another note to Stuart, since he is always asking us about recording in his messages. It seemed like he recorded this a little too loud. No,
it was hot.
It
distorted
distortion.
Places. Yeah,
and we can actually link to this on my on the show notes. I've got a post on my blog about recording at the right volume kind of thing and what it all means and how to do it properly. So that's the one piece of advice I give to Stuart is just. The performance was fine, just lower the levels.
I think recording guitar and voice actually at the same time can be quite tricky.
It is very tricky, and he doesn't necessarily have to. More on the production side of things, but this is something I do with singer-songwriters when I work with them, especially when I know that they're used to playing the guitar and singing the song at the same time. I'll record them with one microphone, guitar and singing at the same time. That's my scratch track. And then put a telephone EQ on that so it sounds kind of, smaller. And then I get them to record the guitar separately, then record the vocal separately. Yeah. So you get clean recording of both, but they always know exactly where they are in the song, and you just get a better performance.
Yeah, I do that a lot as well. You do your guide track, and then you do it better for each of the components.
Exactly.
Yeah, and miking, an acoustic guitar is a science in and of itself.
Yeah, and you want to be able to focus on getting the best tone out of the guitar you can.
There's some great YouTube videos that we'll link to in the show notes that you can find at songtalk.ca. Some great YouTube videos about recording acoustic guitar. And it's very often you point the mic at not where you think you would. Like you don't point it at the sound hole.
No, back of the sound hole.
Or like actually close to the neck, which is interesting.
Close to the neck, somewhere in between. I mean, the whole point with pointing a microphone at a guitar is that's your first EQ pass.
Yeah.
You can give it more body. You can give it more. You can make it sound thin. You can make it sound thick. You can just do that by the positioning of your mic, let alone in post-production, right?
Yeah, it's quite fidgety, but it's always great. Stuart writes
you tend to get more finger noise, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if that's what you want, then go for it.
I know some people really like that sound. They think it sounds very kind of elegant and
it could. It makes it sound very intimate,
emotional. That's true. But it's always great to hear from Stuart because he writes us lots of emails, and I think you two in listener land should write us letters too.
Yeah, be like Stuart, for God's sake.
And just send them to a feedback@songtalk.ca.
I would appreciate a message from you two. I think that'd be nice.
You too? Yeah, I think
I
you
haven't
too.
spoken to Bono in quite some time. I think it'd be nice if you dropped us a line.
I mean, if they want to be on the show, they just have to fill out the form.
Fill in the form.
Tell us a little about themselves.
That's true. What they're doing now, you know.
All right. Who's next? Matt Oshin.
You do Matt Oshin?
Yeah. So Matt Oshin is a singer-songwriter surfer influenced by the Florida coastal sounds with a touch of introspective writing. And his song Come Back, this song is from the perspective of my best friend whose father left him when he was younger. I like these guys, they come in with these like one-liner, what your song is about. Like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, you get in open mic stages and they go on for minutes.
Yeah, it's like people telling you about their dreams.
Yeah.
It's not as interesting as you think.
I like the concise nature is what this song is about. That's it.
Yeah, it's a great little tune. Shall we play it?
Let's listen and then we'll give him some feedback.
I swear I've heard this song before. When you were singing on that porch, you said that I can be like you. But if you're gone, how am I supposed to? Waiting on my father to come home. Waiting on my father's voice to ring home. Waiting on the whole wide world to realize that this damn song won't feel right. You promised you'd come back home. I hoped you would so we can skip stones and playing down along the beachside. All alone, no father by my side. But given all, I still grew tall. Tried not to blame you for my faults. Some even say I'm just like you. No way of knowing if it's true. Waiting on my father to come home. Waiting on my father's voice to ring home. Waiting on the whole wide world to realize that this damn song won't feel right. That this damn song won't suffice. Oh, come back, come back. Oh, I wanna come back. Oh, come back, come back. I wanna come back. You can't come back. I wanna come back. It's not love and it's not war.
Okay.
Very nice.
That was Come Back
Thank you,
by
Matt
Matt
Oshin.
Oshin. Great song.
I like the opening line. Opening lines are always, I think, the trickiest bit, because if you have good opening line, and I like that. I swear I've heard this song before, and I think we've all been there. When you're writing something, go, is this someone's song?
Yeah. Did I hear this, or did I just come up with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a.
You didn't say, I swear I've wrote
amazing
this song before.
It's such a wonderful, honest, and emotional song. I think it's really nice, and again, very hooky. The chorus is very memorable. It's quite good. I found, and I'm not. This happens to me as well. It's a little pitchy, and I think in this case you need to breathe. I think he was not breathing enough, and I think that would make all the difference. I've noticed that sometimes at the meetups, and I think a lot of it has to do with nerves when it's performing for people. But yeah, I think it's a terrific song, and perhaps a bit more breath and confidence would make it fantastic.
Well, it's so he wrote this about someone else, right? This is someone else whose father.
Yeah, his best friend whose father left him when he was, I guess, a little young. I guess it was specific about that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's such a great way of approaching a song, instead of, trying to write directly from our own experiences, to actually write in the voice of somebody else. I think that can be quite liberating.
Yeah, because it actually gives you a bit of distance.
Yeah.
From the situation, from the emotions, and maybe gives you. It's almost like you could write it from your own perspective if you had, 20 years of reflection upon that, trauma or whatever it never was, to really have a more objective look at it. But to look at it from someone else's point of view automatically divorces your own emotion from it, and you can look at it, I think, in a cleaner way.
And it's entirely possible that there are other people, other perspectives that are even more interesting than you.
Yeah,
Most of the time, that's true. Yeah.
John Prine was really good at writing from other people's perspective.
Yeah, because
his songs are great at that. Even when he was in his 20s, he wrote a song from the perspective of a senior, an old person, and he did that throughout his career very well. I think it's especially with writer's block. Even if you have an idea for a song or something, say the previous Stuart had a song, looking at his city from a hill outside it. Think about, okay, that's his take on it. I wonder what it would be like to write it from someone else's perspective from that same position,
Yeah.
And of course, what Matt did with that perspective is interesting too, because he put it in a first person perspective, as if it is it is his story. He didn't say my friend this and he or that, and that's always a good way to make it more intimate and make it more relatable to the listener.
Definitely a good choice to put it right in the person, and it didn't. It felt very true, and like I said, it felt very honest.
Well, and that's a nice thing of, I think some people think if they're writing from, like if they make a mythical character and, write a song from their vantage point, that the lyrics won't have enough emotion. But I thought there's like the one line, some even say, "I'm just like you, no way of knowing that it's true."
I
Which
know,
I thought was like
in
a
the
beautiful,
heart, huh?
yeah, and it's just, which is, it says it all there. So I think you can sometimes maybe even be more emotional by writing, sometimes changing the just the pronouns in your song. There was someone at one of the meetups many years ago who I thought it was a good song, but then I thought, if you changed it to the pronouns to, instead of me, that, I wish I could remember what it was, but I think going for me, but saying you, I thought like it would have been a much more emotional song. And I think sometimes you can actually be a bit more emotional than just saying me, 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 me. It's, which isn't, Yeah, I've always done me because, I am really the most
You're an
important person.
egomaniac, yeah.
Yeah, and I think most people are interested in what I have to say about most things, and
That's where this podcast came
that's
from.
true.
When you're living in that little box, Phil, especially.
That's true.
I really thought his chorus was quite strong, and the craft behind it is actually pretty compelling too, because the Waiting on My Father comes before the beat, so it really pulls you into it, and then the melody lifts, and it's quite a well-crafted piece of melody. The really odd thing about this song, and maybe you don't even notice it if you're just listening to it, but you look at it on the page, he's got verse, chorus, 2 verses, chorus. That's very atypical. Normally, if you've got 3 verses, you put 2 at the top, do your chorus, then do 1 and do your chorus. He kind of flipped it and did 2 after the first chorus, because I think that chorus is so strong that it might be better if you hear it again quicker.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a chorus after the "Ooh, Come Back Home." If you're in a band, you could do that. Like if you're in a band, and then you could have like the last chorus as being a big kind of, kick-ass, huge thing. Which it's harder to do with just a.
Well, here's the thing about his ending. His ending is quite powerful, because if you didn't know the backstory to this song about you would think it was about war, about a father leaving to go on duty, because a lot of it does kind of point that way. And he even says, "I swear I've heard this song before," right off the top. But then at the very, very end, is like he's starting another verse. It's not love and it's not war.
Yeah.
So it really twists it into something different. Like the father didn't leave because he was drafted or because he was obligated to, or he felt it was his duty. He just left.
Yeah.
And you're left with the ramifications of that it wasn't something that he was forced to do. It was something he maybe decided to do.
So I took it in a totally different way, that not having had the father, there's longing and regret, but he doesn't love him. He doesn't hate him. Like he doesn't have that person in his life to feel strongly one way or the other.
Right.
All he has is it's a song about the absence, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's very true.
I really dig that interpretation. And again, that's what's great about that ending too, is that it's open to numerous interpretations.
Well, and I thought, I think he actually could redo. He could do, like, the chorus is strong enough that he could just say it's not love and it's not war, and then do the chorus again. Yeah, and end on the chorus, because I think it's that strong. I think he did the first verse short because I think people want to get into the chorus very quickly now. I think back in the radio days, they would, you'd want 8 bars of intro and then, some padding before the chorus. But I think people want the chorus fairly quickly now.
That's the other good thing about the beginning of the song. He goes right into it. There's no intro.
Yeah.
It's chord. I swear I've heard this song before.
Yeah, which can really work really well.
Note. I've heard this song before.
Yeah, I mean, there's something very immediate about this song, top to bottom. I mean, in terms of how it starts like that, and the story it's told, and the production of it, all of it.
There's no room for a wailing guitar solo in this.
Not at first glance.
Not at first glance.
There's not many guitar solos at all anymore, it seems. But
to your point, Phil, it's clearly a little bit more of a folk song to me than like a pop song. So I don't think he would go wrong with doing 2 verses at the top.
Okay, because I kind of heard it as
the structure didn't bother me at all, and I liked the way that it ended with just that line.
Yeah, I do think his ending is strong the way it is.
I kind of heard it more as kind of a Nickelback kind of, in the good way. I mean, in a good way.
Yeah,
in terms of that.
Up.
Yeah. I mean, surely if you put the tempo just up a little bit and put a good backbeat and a bass line to this, it could be,
kind
of a folky
and a bouncy C.
And a bouncy C. What's the time? Because you can start off with the just an acoustic, and then kind of build up as lots of people do. But quite our listeners are awesome, aren't they?
They're amazing.
They are.
Yeah, they certainly are. So now the next song,
We got Scott Westerman.
and I was looking at his lyrics.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was.
Just do his intro first.
Well, I was just going to say I was looking at his lyric sheet, and I went, "Wow, this guy's really got it together. He's got all the contact information and all the lyrics and all that stuff." And then I went, "Oh, it's because he's used our template from the website."
SongTalk template. Look at that.
Good on you, Scott.
And you didn't even delete a SongTalk template, songtalk.ca at the bottom.
You were awesome, Scott Westerman. So what I wrote a blog post a few years ago about how to write lyric sheets that don't suck.
Yes.
Because people send us lyrics sheets and their various
And they suck.
And they suck.
Well, it's just that they leave out things like contact information or copyright information, which wasn't quite as important now. It used to be that at one point, if you published a song without copyright notice, it became into the public domain.
How long has that not been true?
I think it was actually in the 20s or the 30s.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you forgot to put copyright on your song, it could go into the public domain. So it's not the case now. But so I was very pleased by that. It's nice to see
I noticed
the
that
stuff
too.
that we've done to get used.
It's like we matter.
It does.
Matter to these guys anyway. Okay, so Scott Westerman is, I'm a 46-year-old dad of 2 great kids. My job is a postman here in South Yorkshire, England. I play keys mainly, but can strum the guitar and keep a beat on the drums if needed. I don't consider myself a singer, but I don't wish to be the next Gary Barlow, but I would love to hear songs on the radio and know I had a hand in them. His song, Out of the Cold. I wrote this song after a breakup over 20 years ago, and about a dozen others. Breakups are always good for songs, aren't they? It's all about lost feeling and everyone around you saying it will be okay, even though you can't see that at the time. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's good. It's a little bit, his description's a little bit, it's a breakup song and this, it's not just, it's a breakup song.
Okay. Here we
Like,
go.
what's the twist on the breakup song? Because there's a billion breakup songs out there. Like, what's special about yours, right?
That's true. Okay.
I walk down this road of life and find myself asking why. I see people on the street, not knowing who I'll meet. I've looked so hard I can see of what lies in front of me. No idea of which way to turn. There's things that I need to learn. I know there's somebody out there for me to lift me up when I'm down. They say that the door is open now. You know that it's firmly closed. There's no one to help me now.
Cool ending.
So it was Out of the Cold by Scott Westerman.
Yeah, very cool.
Great tune.
I liked the guitar tags, like the guitar intro. Again, it's something that people don't do much anymore, and I think it's music kind of, there's a certain quality to music that has sort of like kind of a melodic phrase before the verse, or I thought that was quite cool, and I like the sound of it. I thought he was actually a really good singer myself, for a
Yorkshireman.
Yeah. Well, that's just his good fortune. So Scott, I think you're a fine singer. This reminded me, there's a song back in the mid 70s, I guess, or something like that, called Driver's Seat.
Yeah, by Sniffing the Tears.
Yes, and it reminded me of that. So I've been listening to it all day, and while it's playing, I'm going, oh yeah, because there's this part in Driver's Seat, and it works really well in this. It's, oh yeah.
Are you saying that Scott needs some oh yeahs in his song?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. So I quite like it.
I have to look that up.
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah, 79, I think.
Sniffing the Tears.
Yeah, Australian.
So what would you think there, Neil?
Well, the first thing I noticed, of course, after listening to Matt Oshin's song, and then this one, was the opposite approach. He's got two verses off the top, pre-chorus, chorus, and then one verse pre-chorus.
Yes.
That leads you back into the chorus. So yeah, I mean, overall, really strong song, good melodic hooks. I'm glad he had the pre-chorus is actually really good because it imbues that tension before he drops into the chorus, which is really great. I'm curious about the chorus. They say the door is open now. You know that it's firmly closed. The rest of the song is in a very I perspective. I wonder if he should have been like, I know that it's firmly closed, as in this is a very personal.
Yeah, I got a little lost with the perspective of the chorus as well.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's nicely produced, and the pre-chorus is great. Now, maybe it's Myers. It seems like the chorus is very similar to the verse in terms of where the vocal melody is placed, and I was,
it's not a huge jump, and I kind of wondered that if it's more the production, and the extra guitar layers and things that get in there that make it feel more chorusy, but.
Yeah, because I mean, lots of people have choruses that sometimes melodically don't jump, but the production does. Like the Pet Shop Boys does that a lot, where, because he doesn't have a huge vocal range.
Much range, yeah.
But, they use, the production and the arrangement to make the songs amazing. So,
I don't know. I get the feeling though, if you played this on just acoustic guitar and vocal, the chorus would still stand out as a chorus.
Yeah.
Because the tension from the pre-chorus dropping into the chorus is certainly there. Like songwriting wise, it's there. The only other nit that I had about this song is the title, not the title, but the line of the title. It's written on the lyric sheet as "I'm coming out of the cold," but when he sings it, it sounds like I'm come on out of the cold, because he's not hitting that G when he sings it.
Yeah.
So to listen to it, it sounds a little bit like, what are you really saying there? Like, I'm come on out of the cold.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm coming in out of the cold. Make more sense, but that might be too many syllables. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always, it's in some ways having the lyric sheet can sort of distract you. Like, I mean, when I first listened to these songs, I didn't have the lyric sheets because I just wanted to hear the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my preferred way to listen to a song first, is to hear the lyrics, not read along with them.
Yeah.
But having the lyrics, and I still, like I said, I'm not quite sure what happens in the chorus to our narrator, to the person it's about. It's clear up until that point.
Yeah, sometimes I think when we're writing a song, it's very clear to us, and sometimes it helps to bounce it off someone else to just make sure people are getting what you want to get across. And sometimes it could be just instead of saying they say that you say the door is open now, I know that it's firmly closed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that makes it a bit more definite if that's what you're going for. And it's an interesting thought because there's no one to help me now. I'm coming out of the cold.
Yeah, it confuses me.
So it's a little
If
bit
it's coming out of the cold, then that implies it's coming into warmth. Warmth is a nice thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, emotional, an embrace, a hug. So it sounds positive, and the pre-chorus is setting up a positive change from the verse being a story of being kind of lonely, and then the pre-chorus offers hope, and then the chorus leaves me confused.
Yeah, because I mean, you could change the pre-chorus to, instead of "I know there's somebody out there for me," to "I wish there was somebody out there for me to lift me out." And then the last two lines, the chorus could be, "There's no one to help me now to help me come out of the cold."
Yeah. I was just thinking that, like, I got to get out of the cold, or
Yeah.
Or now he talks about where this song, the idea for the song came from, but sometimes to make a song more memorable or hooky, you need to let go of certain things. And maybe even if it didn't happen in real life, in the song, the chorus is optimistic. It is about finding someone who, you know, to come out of the cold too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, just because your inspiration is something that was, you know, about being lonely and not being able to accept the comfort that people give you, maybe that's a little complicated, or it doesn't land quite right for a chorus. So then what is real life is one thing, but you can still use it as the inspiration for the song to make a more buoyant and positive chorus.
yeah, especially since his pre-chorus starts to point that way, so it makes more sense to make the chorus brighter from a narrative sense, for sure.
I mean, I've certainly been, in the past, I've certainly been guilty of that, where you're writing a song, and you're writing it to that person, so you want to, say this thing, and you make the song worse. And in truth, the person's not going to be listening to that song. Yeah. So you might as well actually make the song better, and not worry about that, because they're not going to hear it. They're not going to care.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, kids. Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
Someday she'll hear it, Phil.
One day she'll hear it. You gotta drop a.
And she'll be sorry.
Yeah. You gotta drop a mixtape at her doorstep. Yeah. So this was fun, guys. I mean, it's really nice to hear from our listeners and what they're doing and what they're up to.
Yeah.
And I like that they're from something and about something. You know, some people put out EPs of just complete gibberish, don't they, Neil?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Actually, Neil, that sort of freed me up, because I think you could actually wind up getting some meaningful lyrics by starting out with gibberish. I'm going to be playing around with it.
Hey,
excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, start with meaningful lyrics and twist them into gibberish.
That's what I normally do.
That's what you normally do. Okay, I think
once they've been processed through my head, they turn into gibberish.
The jellyfish. Okay,
it's a very profound experience, but when I communicate it.
Radio tonight. Special thanks to our devoted listeners and their songs. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Matt. And thank you, Scott.
Very nice stuff. Lady listeners, we want to hear from you too. We got all these submissions from guys. Come on. You're the fine lady. Okay, we want to hear from you, buddy. So please send us your comments on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram to @SongTalk Radio, or send us an email, feedback@songtalk.ca. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube channel for live performance videos and full episodes now that we is all virtual alike. And subscribe today to the SongTalk Radio podcast on your favorite podcast provider. And don't forget to sign up for our free newsletter at songtalk.ca. You can find links to all the products, books, and web services we mentioned on the show on our resources page. And of course, wherever you are in the world, please join us online via Zoom at our next monthly SongTalk meetup. It's free to join on meetup.com and free to attend. Stop by songtalk.ca for the link. Big thank you to Vanessa Reland for her help behind the scenes at SongTalk Radio. And most of all, we'd like to thank you, our devoted home listeners. You can follow me at neilmodi.com. You can follow Phil.
ThePhilEmery.ca.
And Michael.
Proudfoot420 on Instagram.
And please stop by the website, songtalk.ca, to check out past shows, find out how you can be a guest. Stay safe, everyone, and keep on writing.
Good night. This is where we dance. I don't dance until the people off.